Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
We're in a very good morning. Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone. Welcome to this session. We extend our warm welcome to everybody who's joining us. You can see Chido is there. Who else have we got? Dyson, Zapasi.
Wow, Dyson.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Man of God.
We're supposed to connect at some point in the week, but I think he's watching and following us.
Oh, good.
And please share the video, connect with your friends, colleagues, relatives, and everybody. First of all, let's just welcome everybody as they tune in, and also to say to the heroes of the day, we appreciate you so much, and we are privileged to have you with us during this crisis and all the hard work that is happening to the heroes of the day. And we also want to pay homage to those who lost their lives at this point. They are our heroes as well. But we have to move forward. Things have to move forward. Morgan, we are moving forward.
True.
We need to actually invite as many people as possible. Thank everybody for their support so far, with the technical glitches here and there. But with them, we can't be this far.
Definitely.
Let's welcome the people, Morgan.
Yeah, welcome everybody live on Facebook and those watching on YouTube. Welcome. It's another week again. What week are we in, Joe? Is it week 5? Week 6?
Yeah, they've been traveling with us for a very, very interesting journey, stimulating journey.
Yeah.
In the middle of unpredictable circumstances.
So we are locked down.
Yes.
So how do we unlock the lockdown? That's the idea, isn't it? Is to unlock the lockdown. Don't be locked down.
No, lockdown, it means unlocking your brain as well.
Yes.
Lockdown.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, it means unlocking. It's lockdown, but it comes back to individuals, Morgan. What are you doing? It's very positive because every negative exists with a positive. So they are meant to work together. You don't give up in the negative. You stay focused on the positive side. We are extending a warm welcome to Tasha. Thank you so much. She's just joined us. Kaiser, KN Blueprint, big fan. Thank you for joining us. Please continue to share the video and connect with your friends and family. Right, today we are going to
maybe mention we're also joined with our
why not?
Mentor,
yes. Our honorable mentor, the visionary, Miss Ndemera. We appreciate you so much for the support, for the encouragement, and for setting us up. You know what? She tries by all means to make sure that we are all fine before we take off. She's always behind the scenes and taking care of some of the technical. We appreciate even for giving us this opportunity to be sharing this stage with you. Continue to be strong and continue to be with us. Thank you so much. We continue, Morgan, with the topic of the day. We were running with ideas from for the past few weeks, and people want to obviously understand with plenty of ideas, and we did highlight and mention to them that lockdown does not mean even the brain is locked. The brain is unlocked. It's an opportunity actually to display what people can do when they are confined to a space. So today we are going to develop the idea to action. How do people move forward? People have gotten plenty of ideas, and they want to understand how can they move into action.
And it's always difficult to work from an idea, of which most people, we are working from our ideas, which is really a problem. So we're going to define what takes someone into action. So in most cases, it's the plan that is required here. So today we're going to be talking about, people, they call it a lot of things. Yeah, I'm going to put it in some of the ways, people can identify what we're talking about today. So we're talking about a plan, Joe. So a plan is in between an idea and action. That's the bridge between an idea and an action. So a plan is the tree in the middle. That's the fruit.
I knew you were going to. You like middle things. Anyway.
So that's the middle. Yeah. So most people,
the forbidden fruit.
The forbidden. So people, we're going to talk about why it's forbidden.
Okay.
It's not forbidden to say don't know, but the fruit. What we're going to discuss about is the problem in most cases, Joe. People are operating from. They're starting from that. That's why it's said forbidden, because you are copying someone.
It has to be a certain way.
Yeah, of operation.
Yes.
Our mentor, she calls it thought process. Thought process.
Yes.
So that thought process should be idea, plan, then action. So the plan is the most important thing. Some in church, they call it the Holy Spirit. Yeah, it's the most important. Me, I call it the mother. The mother is the most important. Why? Because she specifies the idea. So the seed is the idea.
Okay.
Then the mother specifies the seed to make it into a person or a plan. So it's into action. So what the question is, how do we go into action? Now we got all these ideas. We've been talking about all these ideas. And one of the ideas we're going to be talking about today is the idea of childcare, child minding in UK. While we are in the lockdown, what's happening? So we're going to discuss this.
Looking at
so your question, Joe, is that bridge is a plan. You can't work from an idea. So when we're discussing idea here, don't rush to go into ideas. They don't work. What works is a plan put into, an idea put into a plan. And it has to be written down. Joe, it has to be written down. Emphasis on that. It has to be written down. Why? Because you don't want to be guessing while you are actioning. You just want to go and look at something, we always discuss about IKEA, isn't it? You go to IKEA, you buy your product, you come, you get this booklet, a manual. So you always want to go back to the manual to see, to compare, am I going the right direction?
Oh, yes.
So a plan gives you the direction so that you can start now actioning.
So the plan is the backbone of every idea. I like it when you put it sometimes, you say, when we have to acknowledge that all our ideas, they're coming from the Bible. We are not professionals, but it's important that, everything out there has got a biblical sense and understanding. So the plan becomes, it is written.
Yes. So you're coming from that angle, while you're actioning, you're saying it is written. It is written. Why, Joe? I think discussing it from a biblical point of view, you find that what they're calling temptation, or what they're calling testing, when Jesus was tested or when Eve was tested, you find that the test, when the test came, it was when action comes, you find that when Eve was tested, she was talking about it is God said. She was still talking about what God said. Then you find the difference in that is that Jesus, when he was tempted, when he was ready to go into action, Jesus was saying, it is written. So it means this thing has to be written. Otherwise, without written stuff, that's what they call in the 3rd chapter, the 4. Why? Because these two, Adam and Eve, they were working on what God said. So it means it wasn't anyway. So if we argue about what Fungai said, you and me, we are likely not to come up with a conclusion. But if when Fungai was talking to us, I remember you were taking notes, isn't it?
Yes.
I wasn't taking notes. So with your notes, can you evidence them?
Yes, they're evidence.
It's written, isn't it?
It is written.
But with me, I didn't write it. So I can argue with you, say, oh no, Joe, you know what? She said. Then you say, no, Morgan. It is written. So always written stuff, you evidence what has been said. And that's what's important. That's what makes an idea go into a plan.
Into a plan.
Yes.
Idea, plan, before action. So there is obviously the importance of writing a plan. Yes, because you go back to something that is written.
Evidence.
You make it's evident that is written, and you've got always reference points.
Exactly.
And it stops you from wandering from in the desert.
Wilderness.
In the wilderness, because you never get to the promised to the promised land. Let me just extend a warm welcome to a few people who are joining us as well. I know they're doing a lot of work. You know, Tandy Bata, thank you so much. Lisa, we appreciate you for your support. Shirley, thank you so much. And I've seen Mabel. Wow, Mabel as well. She's joined us. Thank you so much. Continue to share this video as we are deliberating. Right now, we fully understand the scale of the problem that we are in. Now, we are not talking about a problem wasting time describing the problem, what it is doing, what is it not doing. Now we are going to be solution focused, coming with ideas. Ideas, they need a plan. A plan becomes a reference point. When you're building a house, the building does not come into existence without a plan. So the plan is a finished product of the whole.
Yeah, you can actually celebrate your idea or your business or your organization on paper. That's very important. Believing it means when you see it on paper, now you see it finished, isn't it?
It's complete.
It's complete. I like it when I see when they're building houses. I think you've seen it. Most people, they've seen it. When they're building houses around, they put these images with the house already finished.
The 3D, whatever.
It's already there. You can actually see exactly what's going to come.
How it is going to be.
How it's going to look like. So that mental image on paper, it helps you to go into action. You remember with us, let's talk about the journey. When we were trying to build the African village.
Yes.
You remember we requested a 3D image,
the drawing,
from Manchester. We asked them to.
The architecture had to draw the plan.
And then we wanted him to, what was it called?
To
print it into a model.
What is a model? Yes.
So that wherever we were going, that was our idea. We'll be taking our model. We're going to show people the model, how this African, because just explaining with words, it's not enough. But with an image, with words and image, it will give people that mental image. What creates action is imagination. If you can make someone imagine something, so imagination is just imagining. You are creating
an image
in your. So imagination, image, action. So to that image to go into action, make someone imagine it. I always laugh with people.
Yes.
To say, look, your car, it doesn't turn when you turn your car. It turned in someone's image before. Because whoever thought of the car, who planned the car, who had an idea, then put it into plan, they are the ones who turned in their imagination. So always that image, mental image, is what puts someone ready into action. Words only on paper are not enough. And we also, with Dreamblazers, we've come up with the new plans, isn't it? Where we have words and image into a business plan. We're not doing the traditional plans where you just have words and words and words. You can't action those. And rightly saying, I think that's why also the builders, that's why the architect has to draw some images.
So that it captures the idea.
Yeah, if the architect was going to give the builders some words, imagine when would they finish building that house? Now 10 right, 10 left.
They'll be talking builders.
Right.
Mokin, you know, one of the things that our audience and also what we want to share with the people is that ideas, they are rubber stamped by a plan. A plan is always a reminder of where you are going. Exactly. A plan is a finished product. So a plan also deters people from copying or changing on the course of where they're trying to get. So when you've got a plan, there is a limited chance that you can't divert, two, you cannot copy. And people have got this tendency, Mokin, that someone can copy. Is it possible to copy an idea?
Right, I like the word you used, reminder. It's a reminder. To me, I want to use the word evidence as well. It's evidence of the direction where we're going. Joe, that's very possible to copy. What did you say, an idea?
To copy an idea. Because people, they say, oh, you stole my idea.
Okay.
Let me say idea thieves out there.
Idea, really, it's not worth stealing. Let me put it that way. What you steal is a plan. If you steal a plan, then you can go and do my idea. You can't steal my idea and go and do my idea. You can only steal my plan and go and do my idea. Now, there's something I want to share this afternoon. Because there's a misconception of, there's a setup that God created, which we said the thought process. So the thought process was idea, plan, then act. That's the thought process. Then God said, do not eat from the tree in the middle of the garden. Right. We're going to talk about this one. So do not eat is not like a prohibition that, don't ever eat it. No, we get to eat it. But here is the question. It's about priority. Where do you start eating from?
Okay.
So if you start eating from a plan, it's like you want fruits. Yeah, there are fruits there. You want those fruits. And you want to start with a tree. You don't have the seed. So God is saying, don't start with the tree. That's why it's a tree in the middle of the garden. Don't start with the tree, because a tree is already, it's a process in action already.
Okay.
So start with the idea, your idea, Joe, not my idea, not Tesco idea, not these ideas we are buying into. So we're saying, don't start from a plan. Why? Why? Because if someone steals a plan, they can do it. There's no doubt about it. But when they do it, are they fulfilled? Because they've got no idea of where that person was coming from.
What was the inspiration?
What was the inspiration? What was the intention? What was the why? So it's like a head. Sorry, it's like a story without a head. There's no head. But the head is the idea. And you want the body. So so the issue here is, do not eat. It's a setup that was put. A way of thinking. That's the garden. So the garden is idea, planning, and action. If you go around looking for other people's plans, that's prohibited. That's where do not eat from the tree in the middle of the garden. That's where the prohibition is. When you prioritize planning, when you prioritize someone's plan, when you prioritize someone's plan. But when you start with an idea, Joe, then move from an idea to a plan. Then from a plan, you go into action. Because Joe, the danger with plans is they can put you straight into action. But why, Joe? Why are you into action?
So for those who are joining us, thank you so much. You can see Pastor Monica.
Oh, Pastor Monica.
Yeah, thank you so much for joining us. And as we are discussing, if you've got obviously some steaming ideas, please, before we close, obviously we'll ask questions and you'll be able to tackle them live with you guys so that we give each other, the ability to be fruitful and to become fruitful as we deliberating on this content. So Morgan is talking about the plan. Those who are joining us, we're just talking about, we've got ideas now. What do we do with ideas? Are we gonna bury them? Are we gonna put them under the pillow? Are we gonna just share them on media and all that? An idea that is not dressed in a plan, it becomes irrelevant. We never see light of the day. You never act on something that is not written. So that's the importance of a plan. A plan is because the prophecy. You can prophesy from the plan.
Oh, definitely. I think one of the things we should share, Joe, people are underestimating plans.
The ability of the plan.
Do you know why I want people to understand about plans? But a plan, it's your intention. And this intention is not rushed. Yeah. It's like you sit down. In most cases, let's put it this way. In most cases, this is how we feel in Dreamblazers. I think the idea is where 2 or 3 are gathered. That's where the power is. Where 2 or 3 are gathered. That's where the power is. Why? I think God is trying to make people work together in partnership. God does not want individualism. So God is saying, where 2 or more, where 2 or 3 are gathered, there are aim also. I've always questioned, so God, when I'm doing by myself, you're not there. So this coming also to answer the situation we are in now. Don't feel lonely. Don't do things by yourself. Communicate. I think this is where we're going as well. We're going to share with people how to communicate. These are the projects we are trying to get into people remotely. You can still be inclusive in your isolation. Like you say, don't let your mind be locked down. Right.
Some of audience, we just want to say, and people, please be safe. Continue with the social distancing, exercise caution. Don't worry about us. Me, I live here, so most of you can pop up questions. Oh, social distancing. No, you stay where you are. As we are okay, yeah, and it's a privilege that you'll be able to come to you live from these platforms. And I can see, Morgan, people are beginning to engage with us, and they want to ask me a few questions.
Yes.
Lisa, she's saying, can my passion be my idea? Where's the question? Yeah, can my passion become my idea?
I think that is another story for another day. What is passion? Yeah, what is passion? So yeah, to quickly answer that one.
Okay.
It can be your passion, can be your idea, but its passion comes from that order of operation, that what we're calling thought process. So yeah, your passion, yeah, it can.
Yeah. Just to add on that, Morgan, obviously, when we say passion, it's an idea.
Yes.
We're talking about your story. If your story is your passion,
yes,
that is the idea.
Yeah.
So let's not go far to say, oh, I've run out of ideas. Yet you've got a story that you're passionate about.
That's a good word.
Yes, that's you're passionate about.
But I think, Joe, what you're saying also, passion comes from when you tell it as it is.
Yes.
When you don't have to look for words, when you don't have to think of what ideas are out there. Yeah. So I think
you've got a story to tell.
You've got a story to tell. That's passion.
Yeah. So
that's passion.
The idea here is that the reason why, Morgan, we have to emphasize as well that there is no way you can steal someone's idea, because we have got different and unique stories. That automatically makes us our passion different. So passion is defined from our ideas, and it's easier to work on something that you enjoy, and it's easier to work on something that you are comfortable with, because the whole point is to be able to sustainability. So if it's someone's idea, you cannot sustain it. So this is the importance of, because people, we lack creativity and originality. Originality is sustainable. Copy and paste has got very short legs, and it becomes it's costly and irrelevant. So the idea of having ideas, many of them, people, they always say, Morgan, I've got these too many ideas. I mean, what have you got to say to people with too many ideas?
I think that's another thing we need to look into, because people, they think having so many ideas will make them so much money. Yet the idea really, Joe, is to run with one idea. Find one big idea, run with that. We all got a lot of ideas, but if we have many ideas we are chasing, it means you will not have impact, which is impact is value measured over a long time. So if you want to have value, focus on one idea, which is turned into a plan, then action. Once you do it over and over again, the same idea over and over again, it becomes so impactful that even yourself, what you were talking about, passion and fulfillment. Let's talk about fulfillment.
Yes.
Like you were saying, if you copy from someone's plan or someone's idea, you'll never get fulfilled. So the idea is to get fulfillment. What makes you not thirsty again? What's this water that makes you not come back to this well? Why do you keep going to the well? It's because you are depending on someone's else water.
Okay.
If it makes sense biblically, the woman at the well.
So you know what, people I think will be interested to understand that what is important, an idea determines your capacity. One of the most important terminology that we want to introduce to people today. Capacity. Ability. Capacity.
And capability.
People, they need to understand that, okay, when you talk about an idea, plan and action, you determine your capacity. There's a story that from the Bible about the woman who had ran out of calabashes, capacity. What is interesting in the story is that the oil never stopped pouring, but she ran out of what? Capacity. How do we account for that? How do an individual increase their capacity?
Very interesting. Very interesting.
Because right now, people in lockdown, they want to know that one, they are valuable. Two, they got capacity.
So, like you said, there's ability. So there was the ability of the oil continuing. The oil is always there.
Oil is always filling up.
So most people, they've got ability.
Yeah, they've got the ability.
But they don't have the capacity.
Capacity to contain now the oil.
To contain the idea.
The idea.
So you want a plan. So like, I don't know how you've put it, that a plan, it is I don't know the way you've put it. So the plan really is the container. Is that what we're saying?
Yes.
So this woman, she ran out of, she didn't have a plan. That's why she ran out of containers.
Ran out of containers because
capacity, yes.
The capacity ran out. Why do people run out of capacity? Why? Because you are most likely to be in the wrong lane, or the idea that you are running with is not written in a plan. You see, so the idea becomes valuable if they are written on a plan. Many ideas, ladies and gentlemen, they are stuck. Some of them, they went as far as the graveyard. We can't jumpstart, resuscitate them. Why? Because they remained as ideas. We cannot capacitate on dead and buried ideas. We can only capacitate a plan. A plan will give us measurement of how far we are going to be sustainable. A plan gives us direction in action. A plan gives direction in action. Many people started off running an idea, like you're getting a button stick, right? You are running, you've overtaken the plan.
It's not measured.
It's not measured. You've overtaken the plan.
When is the finishing line? When is the finishing line?
People are just going.
Okay, so it's a never-ending journey.
That's what they call
fulfillment. Whoa, rat race.
The rat race.
That's where it's coming from.
Chasing shifts.
Chasing ideas.
There's an idea. People have got this understanding that, I want overtime. Overtime. We've got 24 hours. We want overtime. Overtime, what difference are you going to make? So time is more valuable than money.
Yeah, definitely.
It's about the value that you are creating in the time, not the time that you are trying to make value. So time is more valuable than money. So when you talk about overtime, we are not time. You never finish time.
It's continuous.
It's about capture. We've captured that moment. What are you doing?
I like that, capturing. So it's about gathering and capturing. It's about capturing, isn't it?
Yes.
So in that, you're saying capacity now. How do you have capacity? Because in the Bible, what God termed capacity, how God created it, was that He had to have form. So form, it means you're forming something, isn't it?
Yes.
So you take time and time, 2 times, they make space in between. So we're talking today about containers, about the space, about
what
the
are
capacity,
you filling your containers
about a plan.
Yes.
So the plan will determine the length, duration of your rest.
Yes.
It will determine when do you take breaks. It will determine when do you start the next level. It will determine everything you are doing. It will determine, go again. You said a plan is what direction in action?
A plan gives you direction or action.
In action.
In action.
Okay. So direction in action.
So
yeah. So I was going to say, John, that's what we are talking about today. That once we capture an idea, let's find a way of putting it into a written plan,
yes,
so that we can start actioning. So where most people are failing, they are quick to go into their ideas without a written plan, without evidencing their work. They don't know what direction they're going to take, when they're going to arrive, which exit to take. So an idea is like a motorway, isn't it?
Yes.
You need to know which exit to come off the motorway.
And today, those who are joining us, thank you so much, Chido, and everyone who's contributing. Please share the video, put your questions, and we'll tackle them. We'll interact with you guys, because this show, it's about you. We need to continue to interact, share different ideas. It's all about sharing different ideas. And we are saying that ideas should not only remain as ideas. Ideas should move on to the next stage, which is the critical stage of planning. Planning is the fruit, is the tree in the middle, right? It's about order of operations. Where do you start? What am I supposed to do? Ideas, we've got plenty. When it becomes a plan, an idea evolves into a plan. What does a plan mean? A plan, some of us, we lose or we run parallel to our dreams. Why? Because we have not put our ideas, or we have not written down, you see. So the key thing is a plan has to be written down, right? What does a written down plan mean? A written down plan means discipline. It's all about discipline.
True. It's about discipline. I think, like you said, there's a word I want to correct so that it makes sense to people. What is discipline? Like you said,
yes.
What is this discipline? I remember we were talking to ourselves as well in terms of written. We are writing, isn't it?
Yes.
When we write applications and so forth. And I was saying to the team that if you look at why music is so great, it's because these guys, well, why athletics is so great. These guys, they're so disciplined in their work. They know how many beats a minute.
Yes.
What is the rhythm? What is the timing? They got all these things they put into this beautiful, music. So what I wanted to say is, what we are mainly talking about is a process. But today we are talking about the middle section of the process.
Which is the planning section.
Which is the planning section. A garden, to me, Joe, a garden has got order.
Yes.
Yeah. But a garden does not put order by itself. There's a word I want to go to in the Bible, because God, he created a garden, isn't it, for Adam. So to us, a garden, you can't put me in a garden without a way of thinking. I think that's why Fungai always go on about mindset.
Yes.
So it's about how your mind is set. That's the garden. How a mind is set, that thought process. If you don't have that sort of thought process, then your garden won't be in order. What puts a garden in order is how you think, not how the garden looks. Yeah, it's how you think. Your thinking puts the garden into action, into that order.
Yes.
So order, God set up an order of thinking, which is idea. Adam, you think of an idea. Adam, you put it into a plan. Adam, you act it. But Adam, if you fail to put your idea into a plan and then act on Genesis 3 now, you're just acting without written things.
Okay.
That's why the temptation was on written stuff. Do you really know who you are in written? But if you are arguing over what is said, then we have a problem. You can't work on that.
Okay. Eve came from the plan.
She came from the idea.
From the idea. It was already set,
yes.
And it was in the plan.
Yes.
We need to understand that, relevance is built on a plan that is written. Building or constructing a building without a plan, obviously it won't pass. I was listening to someone said, in the year that we are living, in the 21st century, people, it's not about not being able to read or write. You need to be relevant in the 21st century. Why? Because they need three things. One, you need to learn. Two, you need to unlearn. Three, you need to relearn.
Is that renewal of the mind?
That's where we are going. So the renewal of the mind, mindset. When it comes to renewal of the mind, Morgan, with all due respect to everybody working so hard, sometimes, some of the jobs, they also limit us. They limit our capacity. We think that it is more oil. Yet we don't know that we are soon going, like now, some people
it will dry. That's the dry. That's how I think it's a very good example you are giving, that at some point it will come to dry. It will die. You what was it? You die. Yeah. So dying is not it's not going in the grave. The dying God is talking about in Genesis is that if you copy my plan, Joe, you die from being creative. You stop being creative. Why do you think you stop being creative? Because you're working from my written thing that is already there. So you don't need to think of anything. You don't need to think why I started it, what I'm reducing, what was my intention. So that's the death in the Bible. Why? If you pick someone's house plan,
yes,
go and build it. When it's finished, maybe the size of the rooms is not what you wanted. Maybe you wanted bigger rooms. But because you took what Joe had put down as his house, as his plan, and you took it and you straight away you go and build it. Yeah?
Okay.
So maybe importantly, so that we don't confuse people, we are just talking about a process, thought process, which was going to come into action. How do you go into action a thought process? So the thought process is three things: idea, plan,
and action. So this is what is important in our audience. Today we are sharing, like what Morgan has just said, idea, plan, and action. Today we're just putting emphasis on the importance of planning. I was listening to a story the other day, Morgan, and they were saying the whole point, don't start, by telling us about the story of two people who are planning to jump out of the plane. Start the story by jumping out of the plane. What does it mean, Morgan? People, they are so hesitant to take risks. You see, because everything out there, it is a risk. This life that we have, it's a risk. Why? Because no one comes alive. Everyone, it's a risk. So refusing to risk, it's a risk in itself. We define our surroundings by limiting our capability, by limiting even our capacity.
But I think on that, Joe, what stops that you're taking a risk, maybe so that we don't go out? What stops someone taking a risk?
What stops people taking a risk?
Yes.
They've got ideas, but they don't plan.
So why are you not? So that's why they're not jumping off the plane.
Yes, because
and they like talking about a story of someone jumping
out of the plane.
Okay.
You see, we become so good at talking about other people's stories, but even our own story, it's not written. There's no plan.
Anyway, so with that in mind, let's because of time,
let's engage with the people.
Let's engage, but
let's wait for the anyone.
We want engaging. So I want to talk to you today.
Yes.
On what we said, we want to discuss this. We want to introduce something new. It's about, guys. Welcome everyone. Welcome. Keep sharing. And here in UK,
yes,
I want to talk about this capacity, these ideas, and these plans now. So today it's about planning. What are you planning, Joe, about childcare?
Morgan,
childcare. It's my concern at the moment. It's an idea which needs a plan.
Morgan, life, we explained that life is always a combination of two things. It's either it's on or it's off. But when it's off, it's preparing to be on. When it's on, it's preparing to be off. When it's winter, it's preparing for summer. When it's summer, it's preparing for winter. So the time that we are in, opportunities or crisis, they are preparing for opportunities. Opportunities as well, they're preparing for it. So these are the dynamics that we need to understand in mass. When it comes to childcare right now, Morgan, as much as we can mention about childcare, like today we'll do a demonstration, about childcare. Obviously, the main issue is families with their children at home,
yes,
eventually they'll run out of things to do, but there are certain structural things that people have to follow, like the children, they have to continue being educated, the curriculum, they have to go on. The thing is, are the parents ready? You see, so these things are two. The children, we can't mention the children without mentioning the parents. The children, in their own right, they are there, but they need the custodianship of the parents. So when we talk about are the children ready, are the parents ready, which we're going to demonstrate in the afternoon.
Yeah, so I think there's a challenge, and we're going to come up with a very good project on that issue, because it's an issue actually where many people are talking about at the moment, and it's an issue we're going to bring to Dreamblazers and see how people can move with that idea into a plan so that we can start solving our own problems. Like you were saying, we are busy talking about other people's stories, about how other people are jumping out of the plane, yet we don't talk about ourselves jumping out of the plane. So yeah, so we're going to talk about that. That's one of the projects we're going to focus. That's one of the ideas we're going to turn right into a plan and maybe demonstrate to people that when we as Dreamblazers are talking about these things, so this one is going to come into fruition. It's going to get to make it into action.
We demonstrate.
It's an idea already running,
yes,
and we want to put it into action. We want to put it into action. Yeah.
So our audience, thank you so much for following. Please put your questions, type in your questions. We're ready to engage with you. We'll be able to answer as many questions. Let's make this program as interactive as possible. Please don't hesitate to ask questions, also so that we'll be able to understand and to review some of the sharings that we are doing. So, Bongen, one concept, we're not going to dwell much on it, that we touched on. We might not exhaust it today, but I know it's a broad subject. Plan. What's on the plan? Plan means discipline, right?
Yeah.
I like it sometimes when you explain that. Where does the word discipline come from? They're disciples, aren't they?
I think it's the word disciple that we've not actually understood.
Okay.
Yeah.
Go on. Well, audience want to know these things, because one of the things that, you know what, Morgan, every year, our year, the theme this year is this. Every year they are told about things and all that. But what is the secret? What is the plan? What's the discipline in that? So let's define it.
So everything, like we said the other week, I think on a Sunday with Fungai, we're saying everything, Joe, is about setup. It's about rules, principles, disciplines, disciples, discipleship, all those things. Right, I think this is where the point where we want to talk about.
Yes.
Before you have a disciple, you have discipline.
Okay.
There's no discipleship without discipline. For them 12 to be called disciples, they had discipline, certain discipline in them.
Okay.
So those 12 are disciplines. The 12 around Jesus,
yes, they
are disciplines. But sorry, they're called disciples, external. But here's the secret, Joe. Maybe talking of the secret. The secret is that for you to be a Jesus, let's put it that way.
Okay.
Most people, they want Jesus' name, they want to use Jesus, you know. Jesus in his glory is 12 disciplines.
Okay.
So Joe is going to become 12 disciplines. In you, you have to have the discipline of faith, the discipline of desire, the discipline of persistence, the distance of all these, you know, accountability, yeah. Yes. Which was the most important one, Judas. So these disciples around Jesus, they are not there before him becoming the discipline. So Jesus is 12 disciplines inside. You become disciplined in all these things. You know how to control desire. Because desire is the mother of all. Before faith, there was desire. Yeah. The one you call Andrew, that's desire.
Yes.
So before before Peter, which is faith, there was Andrew. So how do you control desire? It's a discipline.
It's a discipline.
If you don't have a discipline of controlling desire, your faith will never come into fruition.
Your accountability becomes in question.
So everything, actually, because this is where it is. You start. That's why Jesus started with Andrew. Andrew is desire. If you can, I think you remember we're talking about the test, when Jesus was tested, yes. Temptation. So temptation is coming to test your desires. Yes. So he was tested desires, he was hungry for 40 days, 40 nights. So if you can manage your desires, all those sexual desires, all those, your eyes, they want to see, if we can control those desires. So also desire, when you're talking about desire, when you desire something, when you got a burning bush,
keeps you awake.
Yeah. When you got this burning in you, not heartburn, no. Not heartburn. But when you have
the passion we are, yes.
Passion, Lisa was talking about. When you have the passion, that's Andrew. Passion, that's desire. When you have the desire for something, it's likely to put confidence, which is faith in you. Once you have faith, then the rest of the disciplines will follow. So you were talking about discipleship and discipline. So these are disciplines.
Yes.
You need to have some disciplines. You have to have some principles. So one of the discipline we are talking about today,
yes,
is what we call the discipline of priority.
Order of
operations. Where do you prioritize your operation? If you prioritize in plans or other people's plans, if you prioritize on going on internet and taking things on the internet and use them, if you prioritize on stealing other people's plans, house plans, let's put it that way, then you are likely to surely, the Bible says, you will die.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Surely you will die. So the idea here, Joe, let's have that order. Planning. Last week we talked about time. Yes. That's planning. So the idea. So time is part of idea. That's what begins. That's the Adam. Then from time, like you said, Joe, it's continuous. It's everything. That's space. So how do you now break your time into a space? We're talking about containers today.
You capture.
So you capture time. You capture time. I think we did last week.
Mm-hmm.
We said capture 8 hours a day. Then fill in your matter
with value
into that time you've captured. Yes. So space, that's what we're talking about today. But you're talking about discipline. So the discipline here is priority. Who are you prioritizing? If you prioritize the fruit in the middle of the garden, then you are surely going to die. So prioritize from, the first, which is idea, then go into planning, then go into action. But there's no action without plan, please. And there's no plan without idea.
To our audience, we just giving you this so that we have a full understanding. Sometimes, most of us, we have read the Bible, or read the Bible. We've got Bibles on our phone and everywhere else. I don't know about you. My phone, Bible. It is good other things, but Bible is there. Right, and all versions. But what we also need to do and to understand is that how is this Bible relevant to us? That's why we pick on some stories, in the Bible, the stories of the disciples, which we are all familiar with from Sunday school when we were growing. How is it relevant to us? Wow. You see, because it's not just a story because it was recorded. It's a story because it is relevant. It needs to be applied on a day-to-day basis. Your discipline, you apply discipline, 12 disciplines in you on a day-to-day basis, so that you don't want to commit financial suicide like Judas Iscariot. people's ideas have committed suicide. They've faced the Judas Iscariot moment. Why? Because they failed to plan. They failed the discipline. They failed. That's how they fell into action. So as we are rounding up, please, someone is asking, can I ask you a question? What books do you recommend?
Joe.
Yes.
On that note,
yes,
we recommend, number one, the Bible. You know what you've just said?
Yes.
You said something, but I don't know if you understand, what you just said. The Bible, because it's written.
Yes.
I think that's why Jesus was quoting, it is written.
Yes.
So the Bible becomes the plan. Is it? You're talking about capacity, written things, so the Bible becomes the plan, isn't it, of us, humankind. Right. So what books do we recommend? Personally, I would give 3 for now. Just 3 for now. But read one at a time.
Lisa has already helped.
Yeah.
She wrote Think and Grow Rich. That's a very good book.
Grow Rich. So if you want to learn about disciplines and becoming a disciple, if you want to become a disciple, if you want to become a Jesus, let's put it that way, read those 12 disciplines.
12 disciplines.
Yeah, those in Think and Grow Rich.
People need to know. Okay.
Yes.
Think and Grow Rich is based on the Bible.
And it means what it means. Think, then grow rich. Don't grow rich before you think. You can't grow rich. It's, Joe, let's put it this way. Anyway, I'll put the secret. We've been asking for years now, what's the secret Napoleon Hill was talking about? So the secret in that book is that he says in each, in each chapter, is a secret hidden in each chapter.
Yes.
So what he's just trying to say is, because if you go further now, he says there's a discipline in each chapter, hidden in each chapter. It's a discipline. So you need to know of these disciplines. That's what made up the disciples of Jesus. They were disciplines in Jesus. Then he externalized them. They became disciples. So these disciples are the ones in Think and Grow Rich. They're very important. So number one, Think and Grow Rich.
Number two,
I would recommend. Number two, I would recommend the Bible. Obviously,
yes.
Obviously. Number one, the Bible. Number two, I would recommend Think and Grow Rich. Then number three, I've got 2 on this one, but there's a book called The Richest Man in Babylon.
Oh yes.
Yeah, that one, it takes away a lot of things, about where the misconception about who you pay first. Because the tithes and offering. That one, it destroys that.
It's an interesting topic.
That's very important.
Because right now, people, they pay tithes and offering, but they're in isolation. So let's not go there for now.
Yeah, but we talked about books. But someone is asking what books. So the books that helps our thinking to cause that garden, or to have that mentality, to have that order of operation, to have what we call a way of thinking or thought process. Read books. These books will change the way we've been thinking. Because we are not lost because we are in a certain location. We are not locked down because we are in houses. No. We are locked down because we've got the wrong information. If you feed in the wrong information in there,
it becomes locked down.
It becomes locked down. If you feed the wrong code in a car,
in access,
the wrong postcode, it might get you there, but is that where you wanted to go?
Not exactly.
So the information we are feeding on, thank you for asking what books to read. It's very important. And I'm actually worried at the moment. I'm worried about when we assume things and we give information with passion, and people believe in so much. And I'm talking now people of influence. When I've seen there's a talk about a setup that God set up in the Bible, and we are trying to fight that setup. Because in a garden, if a snake was already placed there in a garden, and then if God made that snake more intelligent than other snakes or other animals, then that setup, we are not supposed to be fighting that setup. It's God's setup. Remember, I think Jim Rohn, he talks about setup. We can't change the setup.
Yes. Okay. To put it maybe in a different voice,
yes,
we can't fight idea, plan, and action. So for the sake of this program, the first program, we'll be rounding off, but we'll take, if there's anyone with questions, but please continue to support us, be with us. And in the afternoon, we always demonstrate how or what it means to have an idea, to set it on wheels, and into the plan, and how to action it. Because it's not all about just talking, or what we need to move to see that the circumstances that we are in, there has to be a way out. And there's some big businesses or big ideas that are going to come out of this lockdown.
Definitely.
So every crisis is preparing for opportunities. So please forward your questions. Those who are making contributions, Kaiser, thank you so much. Kaiser is saying one of the lovely chapters in the Bible is John 11, the unstoppable testimony of Jesus Christ. Thank you so much, Kaiser, for making a significant contribution, and obviously coming from the Bible. It makes things really, really special. So sometimes it does not have to take us long to understand that the Bible, it has got some really, really interesting secrets. I've learned from Ecclesiastes somewhere, where it talks about investments, how to invest and things like that. So our audience, if there's anyone with a question, Morgan, just a round off this session.
Just to say, I'm having what you're saying. It keeps going on and on in my head. That it's the Bible that made up all these books. I think if you trace back all these books we are trying to share here, Think and Grow Rich, Richest Man in Babylon, what's Acres of Diamonds, all these books, right? So it's very important. Let's stick to the manual, the Bible, but let's not misinterpret it. Let's not misinterpret it. That's the problem, and give wrong information. And one thing, Joe, like you said, it has to be applicable. It has to be applicable. If it's not applicable, then it's like you got keys which you are not using to open doors. So there has to be an application to any information. There has to be application to any information, but have the right information. Right. So to round up, this afternoon, we're going to be focusing on planning. So on planning, just to capture a wider audience, business side, that's the word we use. We plan. The business side, we plan. We have ideas, we plan, then take those ideas into mission. Those plans into a mission, right? So we're gonna break that one down. Then maybe, so that we connect with a lot of audience, the middle thing we're talking about, that plan, is what in the Genesis is formless. So for it to be, the opposite is form. So want to create capacity. So in the Bible, in Genesis, there's time, space, and matter. And what we're talking about today is the space. So what's between time and matter? We are looking for matter, isn't it? We are looking for things. We are looking for all these other things. So the Bible says, seek the kingdom first and all things will follow. So matter will follow. But seek time, then seek a plan, which is space. With space, it allows you, that's the bridge to mission, to matter, these things you are looking for. Then we will demonstrate also in the biblical sense, which in most cases, the Holy Spirit, which is the middle section, is not being understood. So we are waiting for another, I don't know, the word holy, happening. Because the word holy to us, it's holy. I don't know, you know, holy. But yet the word, it just simply means as separated from the rest. So where we're going to make it, you know, exciting, applicable, is that you have an overall aim which is turned into specific aims. So that's how you are separating. That's holy. Holy, it's you're separating. When you separate petrol from crude oil, petrol becomes holy. So the word holy, it's been, you know, misused. So people, the church side, we are missing application because there's this Holy Spirit that's going to come upon us. Yet the Holy Spirit is just the Spirit of truth. Yeah, which is what we're going to explain today: capacity, planning, which is very important. Planning. So let's connect, Joe, the Holy Spirit, the planning, the mother, with planning, because people are running away from plans thinking, oh, it's not for us when we're in church. No, right. So very important, especially our community. So yeah, you can round off.
Yes, thank you so much, everybody who has been joining us this morning sessions. We appreciate you so much for sharing this video. We are thankful, and please get ready for the next session, where we will be giving new examples of what we are talking about, idea, plan, and action. And we always like to bring real life examples. Our next session will start at exactly 2 o'clock, and we'll give you real life examples of ideas that are actionable. And we'll also give you some highlights of what we have been through in the week in terms of projects, you know, that's already in motion. And we'll also give you hints and tips of what to do, and our contact details as well, and new information what is coming with our funders, so that you'll be able to take part, you and I, where you are. It's not locked down, it's an open,
we are opportunities. The lockdown.
So the keys are with you guys. Connect with us, continue to follow us. So thank you so much for this session. We'll see you at 2 o'clock sharp. Continue to support us, continue to connect and to share. Thank you.